This video will introduce the CIN statement. The CIN and the COUT statements are contained within this library right here. And they are used for outputting to the console or inputting from the console. And by console, what we mean is your text interface. And on Windows, that would be your command prompt. On Mac, it would be your terminal. So we've already learned, hopefully, that the cout, console out, we often use it with a redirect. So that will redirect text or a variable or an equation to your console. Like that. So there it is. Okay, so now for the CIN statement, console in means collect data from your keyboard. So usually before you do a CIN statement, you need to let the user know what they need to type. So let's just say enter your age. And whenever you do a CIN statement, it is going to store whatever the user types in to a variable. So you need to declare a variable first. So let's declare an integer variable, name it age. And then we do the CIN statement, and usually we will do it with the redirect also. Okay, so in this case, I'm doing the redirect, the two greater than signs, rather than the two less than signs. So think about, the way that the arrows are pointing. So, it's going to send this text, it's going to send it to the console. And in this case, the console, whatever you type into the keyboard, is going to be sent to a variable. So let's see how it works. And so I'll build and run, enter your age, and there it is. So the variable the number 22 just got stored to the variable age. And also the CIN statement, that pauses the program. Let's see it again. So right now, the program is paused right at this CIN prompt right here. Okay, so we've got the little flashing underscore, and it's waiting for you to enter a value. Sometimes in programming, they call that a blocking statement, something that causes your program to pause. Okay, so now that we have that value in the variable, then we can do something with it. We could say cout your age doubled is, and then let's go age times 2, kind of like that. Okay, so let's run it again. So it's sitting right here at the CIN statement, waiting for you to enter a value, and whatever you enter is going to get stored into that variable that you've declared right here and specified. Okay, and so 44 got put into age, and now it's outputting your age doubled. Okay, so now it's important, the CIN statement, don't confuse it for what you would do with a cout statement. You can't put any kind of backslash. You can't do anything like an indel like that. That is output. That is the only thing you should put right there. Okay, so let's enter. There's with using an integer. So let's go what if we enter something with a floating point? What could we ask with a floating point? Enter the base of a square, something like that. And in this case, I'm going to do a float variable, meaning a variable with a decimal point. I'll call it base. CIN into the variable base that you've already declared. And so then we're going to say the area of the square is, and so in this case it would be base times base. Okay, so watch it run. So now we can enter a variable with a decimal point. And so then the area of the square is that, 10.89. Okay, now let's look at using the CN statement with a string. So a string is, I will often call it a variable type, but it's actually a class. It's not one of the primitive built-in variables of C++. Okay, so so let's just say enter your first name. And in this case, we'll declare a variable, make it a string, and I'll call it, I'll just call it name. And CN into name. Okay, and so I'm just going to output the value of the variable. Your name is, and then output the value of name. Okay, so let's try running it. Build and run. Enter your first name, and then your name is David. Okay, works just the way we think it should. But now let's try this. Enter your full name. And so we're going to do that. And so I'm going to run it. So now I'm going to enter my first and my last name. And look what happened. So what happened is the CN statement doesn't quite work right with strings. It actually cuts off or truncates as soon as it finds a space. Okay, so that's an issue right there. Okay, so the way we get around that is we do a little different variation of the CN. And in that case, we'll do a getLine function, and then we're using the CN and then the name of the variable that we've already declared right there. Okay, so let's try it this way with the getLine. And enter your full name. And so now it didn't cut off or truncate after the space. Okay, so if you need to enter a string that is multiple words, then this is the way you do it with the getLine. Now, one other variation of the CN statement that you may want to use on an occasion is, let's say you have an introduction screen to a program. And so then you want to clear the screen and let the user, before you go to the main menu or the main part of the program. So when you do that, you print your introduction screen, then you could say something like press enter to continue, something like that. In this case, if you just want the user to press an enter key, in fact, if you just do a regular CN statement, it's going to wait for you to enter something. It wants a value if you do a regular CN statement. So what you can do in this case, you don't want them to enter anything. You just want them to press enter. You can do a CN dot ignore like that. Of course, I got to get rid of that statement now. Okay, so press enter to continue, and now I can just press enter key and then it will go past that. Okay, I think that's about all I wanted to cover for the CN statement. Just remember the cout and the CN are functions within the IOStream library. So if you have to include the IOStream library to be able to use cout and CN. And have a great day.